The following program is brought to you by Causenta.com. Get better, perform better, look better, feel better. Discover the root cause of what's holding you back. Visit Causenta.com. Welcome to 1-800-MAN-SHOW.com with Dr. Tom. Dr. Thomas Incledon is a former world champion strongman who's taken his competitive drive and converted himself into the world's leading men's health expert, producing science fiction level results for men who desire to be bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, and healthier. Dr. Tom learned the hard way that while our healthcare system was designed to just let you get by, men like you demand more. After testing over 40,000 patients, Dr. Tom discovered the best way to help you is a combination of science and common sense applications fueled by his hand-picked technology and instrumentation, which Dr. Tom assembled to create the most advanced facility in the world, Causenta. Each episode, Dr. Tom shares cutting-edge data and information from his life as an athlete turned scientist and research uncovering solutions to help men increase testosterone, get their libido back, lose weight, feel great, and heal their bodies, reverse aging, and live the life of your dreams. This isn't another idea show that sounds great but does nothing to actually produce results. You will personally feel this show is the best information you have ever heard, unless, of course, you are on the payroll for a pharmaceutical company. And now, here to help you produce your man show and discuss results that matter, the kind that'll make your friends envious and jealous, your host, inventor, storyteller, scientist, and secret weapon of the stars, Dr. Tom Incledon.
Hi, my name is Dr. Thomas Incledon. I spent millions of dollars trying and testing all kinds of supplements, treatments, and therapies in my quest to be the ultimate male. I can help guys like you get better, perform better, look better, feel better, and discover the root cause of what's holding you back and fix it. If you can't remember the last time you had sex with your wife, then something is wrong. I'm getting more and more guys asking me about erectile dysfunction issues and about libido issues. And it's amazing how many guys that look really good on the outside have so many problems on the inside. As we start going through all these questionnaires and these lab results on men that we're working with, there's some really interesting things that come up. What I'm going to go do today is I'm going to go over sort of three areas that I think if you address this in your life, you're going to see your sex life improve dramatically. And it's not the normal stuff like, hey, take Viagra and all that kind of stuff. It's actually things that are going to have a lot more meaningful value for you long term. So the first thing we want to talk about is being engaged to your wife. And I don't mean like putting a ring on a finger and telling her you're going to marry her or that you're already, glad you did marry her or something like that. What I mean is being aware of what she's doing and what matters to her. I'll have guys come in and we ask them questions like, oh, when's your wife's birthday? And a surprising number of guys don't remember. I'll ask them when's their anniversary date, and they pause and have to think about it. So these are things that matter to your wife, and you as the guy not knowing them, that does not make her feel special or important. Instead, that makes her feel like, oh, she's like number 2 on the list. She's not your top priority. And that doesn't feel very rewarding to any woman to know that they're not number 1. So some of the things you can do to make sure you stay engaged is when you're talking to her, put the cell phone down. So your mind's not looking at your cell phone and worried about texting a client or a buddy, or some, business appointment that's coming up. But you look into her eyes, and as you're talking to her, you make sure you're paying attention to the words she's using, and then you respond at the appropriate time, not just to utter some words so she thinks you're still talking to her. That one thing could play a big role down the road because as men, we tend to be very visually biased or visually oriented. So, we look at a woman and we make a decision, she's hot or she's not hot. But there's also a very strong psychological component. Lots of guys that are married to very beautiful women wind up getting divorced and talking about how unhappy they were. So how someone looks alone is not good enough to sustain the relationship long term and maintain all the different factors that are important for maintaining a libido in the relationship. So by being engaged, you're developing a mental connection and you're making it so that now you have a mental reason why you're attracted to your wife, as opposed to the fact that, oh, she still looks good in clothes or out of clothes. Next area that I want to touch upon is investing in yourself. Had a buddy from high school I saw not too long ago, and he's weighing about 275 pounds. And back in high school, this guy was like maybe 150. So he's a tall, very lean guy, very athletic, can move real well. Now as I'm talking to him, he's just a big, thick dude. So he doesn't really look like super fat with a big, giant belly. He's got his body weight is distributed around him pretty well, but he's definitely got a much higher body fat percentage than he did back in high school. And he's telling me how fat his wife got and how he's like really turned off by her. So his wife winds up coming by, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, wow, she's really attractive. She looks pretty hot. So she disappears, and I'm talking to my friend, and I'm like, dude, you just said your wife got fat. He's like, oh yeah, she gained about 10 pounds. And I'm like, well, how much did you gain? It's like about 120. And it didn't occur to him that the 120 that he gained was a lot worse than the 10 pounds that she gained. He was really hung up on the fact that she gained 10 pounds. So I said to him, well, what's going on? He's like, we don't even sleep in the same bed anymore. And I was like, well, do you think maybe the fact that you gained 120 pounds might have something to do with it? And he didn't make that connection initially. But what I would suggest, or what I did suggest to him, I should say, is that why don't you guys start exercising together? I did a study years ago where I took men and women that were obese. So they basically had body fat percentages that were 30% or higher. And I had them work out together. And we actually had several groups. We had one group that worked out together without a trainer or a coach. We had another group that worked out together with a trainer and a coach. And of course, the group that worked out that had a competent personal trainer, that those couples made really good progress. But one of the interesting things that came out of it that we hadn't anticipated early on is that when each partner gets to see the effort and the work that their other partner puts in to change in their body, it's kind of like, working out with a teammate. Like you see the work ethics and you see the effort it took. So you have a mutual respect and admiration for each other. And there's also a support that comes out of it as you're trying to help each other to perform better or to lift more weights or get more repetitions or run farther. So at the end of the study, when we have all these questionnaires that we administer to people and we ask them, we started getting all these guys telling us how their sex lives had improved dramatically. And my response was, well, I didn't know you had an issue with your sex life before. And I said, oh, we didn't. But it's the fact that after all this, it's kind of like we're so much closer now, we just wind up having sex more often. And so what I recommended to my friend is, dude, why don't you guys start working out together, hire a trainer, and do some stuff together, and you'll be surprised that the support you have for each other, how that translates to a lot more action in the bedroom. And then the event was over, we went our own ways, and we did touch upon, we crossed paths a few months later, and he had not worked out with his wife at all. He never hired a trainer. So obviously, if you don't take action and you don't put effort, then you're not going to get results. Another thing that I wanted to share with guys is plan time to do stuff that your wife likes. I notice a lot of guys would say things like, I don't have time, I'm really busy. Well, the same way that you make time on your calendar for an appointment with your clients, you could do the same exact thing with your wife. You just plan in advance to do something with her so that now it's already there. So you're not trying to find time that doesn't exist. You basically prioritized her or your kids or your family time, whatever it is that you're working on. And you'd make sure that, okay, I got this time set aside so that I can be there for my wife. And then I'm going to plan my work schedule around that. You'd be surprised how much more rewarding and fulfilling that feels later on. And so we touched upon, let's say, the non-Viagra, the non-testosterone issues as far as what could help enhance libido and sex life in the bedroom. Some other areas that we could talk about is one is antioxidant status is critical for men to improve their testicular function, meaning making testosterone or sperm. And a lot of guys when they get caught up in work, they just don't eat all the micronutrients they should be getting. So if you're not eating things like foods rich in selenium, foods with vitamin A and vitamin D and zinc, then what winds up happening is you're now depriving your body of the nutrients it needs to make the different neurotransmitters and hormones that you need so that you can have much better sexual function or have a much higher libido, even the neurotransmitters in your brain, so that you have more sex drive when your wife says, hey, it's at night, I want to fool around. Instead of you saying, no, I'm too tired, you can actually say, sure, let's do it. So how do you keep yourself mentally engaged? How do you keep yourself physically ready to perform? It's pretty straightforward. One, maintain that engagement or maintain that interaction with your wife. Two, invest in yourself. Make sure you're keeping yourself looking good and feeling good. Three, plan time to do things together. If you don't spend time together, you're going to drift apart from each other. So that's known. So since you know that, then just don't let it happen. And four, make sure you're eating a very varied diet that provides all the micronutrients that you need so everything inside of you is working at its best.
Thanks for listening. For show notes and links to anything discussed on today's program, visit 1-800-MAN-SHOW.com. If you'd like to order the best supplements on the planet, make an appointment with Dr. Tom or call the show. Dial Dr. Tom toll-free at 1-800-MAN-SHOW 24/7. Leave a message with your first name and where you're from and include your question, comment, or concern. Who knows? You might end up on the air with Dr. Tom. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. The link is posted at 1-800-MAN-SHOW.com. Remember, you can get better, perform better, look better, feel better. Discover the root cause of what's holding you back. Share Dr. Tom with guys you know who are ready to fire up your man show.